Hey, what's up? In the name of Christ, Ke Karabo is your girl Crank. Hey, it is 19:39 at night, on the 7th of December. 7th of December 2023. Okay. Let me try and sit straight up. Okay, I don't know if it's visible in my eyes, but I'm under a lot of attack, a lot of spiritual attack, just a lot of demonic abuse, but whatever. I will live. I told you guys that going forward, if I get repetition of like spells and stuff, like witchcraft attacks, I'm not repeating it. Mina personally, I'm not gonna talk about it unless it's new. Yesterday I got something new coming from the grapevine that was nasty, and I spoke at length. Well, today no. Just a highlight. Okay, first of all, let me put my caveats out there. My captions are not always accurate. Please look out for them. I don't have time to edit them. One day, should there be a future, which I seriously doubt, I'll change them out. God have mercy. Yeah, we'll get an editor. Okay, and then next up on that, app makeup. I'm not gonna put makeup on this. I'm a mess, yo. Like, I'm a complete mess. So maybe I won't wear app makeup. We'll see. Oh no, come on. Why is this thing glitching and twitching? It mustn't. Yeah, my hair is aging so quickly. Why? Anyway, I'm not taking this hairstyle down. I'm not doing it. Yeah, what I want to say. Yeah, that's pretty much it, yo. Maybe I'm wearing app makeup. There we go. Or not. We'll see what we do. I just feel like I look like such a mess that the makeup is gonna make just things worse or whatever. Look, I'm not repeating myself, like the same witchcraft over and over and over. No, like, I have juice in my bones, but not that much juice. Seriously, I'm not gonna repeat myself. People can just go and watch my older content to pretty much understand what I'm dealing with every single day. One thing I will tell you is that I am under a lot of spiritual abuse. I'm sexually harassed, guys, by evil men. That's my dreams, the ones that I got, like just repetition of the same thing. Korobela, yeah. I'm not even gonna elaborate on them. I'm not gonna expand. I already spoke about the Gen Z crisis, and that this whole thing with older women being fed up with being treated like trash by men, and then next thing they end up with little boy toys. That was also another theme in my dream. I was like, I spoke about that already. I'm not gonna labor on it because it's literally the same spells, like over and over and over. Where it is that people just try to downsize or downgrade you using the same things. And I'm not responding this time by talking at length. I'm not going to humor the insanity with more insanity. We are just not doing it. Because it's insanity to just rap on and labor about the same stuff over and over again. Right, so I'm under a lot of attack, lots of spiritual abuse. I've had a never-ending headache for the past couple of days that gets minimized by grandpa. It gets made better, but then it just comes back again. It never entirely goes, and this is like a spiritual wall, the height of it. There are operating death spells. If you think I'm making stuff up, do you? I so don't care what people think. Yeah, but there's like an operating death curse to a whole go kill yourself spell. Like, that's not happening. Yeah, guys, like, it's 1944. It's 1944, like, you know, not the year, the time. Am I hungry? Do I want to eat a peach or something? I don't know. That's the time that it is, 1944. Okay, so I have to drive despite the headache, despite the demonic attack, despite the exhaustion, despite the everything. So I gotta work out. I gotta work out, and I am not gonna labor over here rapping on about dead folk doing dead deeds. Nothing new in that dead zone. I'm not going to labor. Just know that I'm under a lot of demonic attack, and my thing with that is, this is the black community for you. This is what they do to people. You know, this is what they do to when they want to handle them. They just throw spells in anybody's direction. Yesterday after working out, when I looked at myself in the mirror in the bathroom when I was about to shower, my eyes were so black, like I had dark circles here. I rarely get dark circles, so when I have them, you know, with tikshubile, I was like, yo, there's a demon giving me dark circles. Like, nah. Anyway, that's the black community. This level of abuse, nje, of people, like, they just throw things in the sky. Boo, 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 bombs, nje fela, bah. Always just throwing something destructive, and kupilwa so in the black community. This is how people live. It's just, I'm sorry, like, I'm done. Like, I'm so done with black people. Like, I'm done, guys. Yo, I know Labantu, full of, like, murder. Like, you know, the level of pomp, arrogance, and entitlement that upon you not getting your word in, you are gonna force a person to just, like, die or something. You know, it's like capitulate or die. It's like settle or die. When people tell you yankani with a gun to your head, it's that basic. They're used to witchcraft, they're used to criminality. Like, it's just the way they do life. They don't get what they want, they gonna get what they want. So yeah, I need to go exercise. That's all that I have to say. Like, this is not sustainable. Like, I've been wanting to hope for, like, a future, you know, like tomorrow or something. Like, yes, like it. I'm sorry, like, whoa, like there's nothing left, guys. There's nothing left. Like, today I went to go to buy the things I need. I had to go all the way to Chinatown to get grandpa cheap because of these headaches that I'm being endured through, and then other things that I'm running out of, etc. Retinol, blah blah. Driving there, I'm not one to cheat. I could drive, but I knew that, and it's a Thursday, guys. I wouldn't have gone today. I would have gone on the weekend, but I'm so under attack spiritually by just whatever demons have been sent at death. This guy from America, like, stabbing me to death on top of a Candy Crush arena. So to him, this is a game, you know, and anyone could win, really. Like, he had stabbed me, and I literally was, like, lying there bleeding out on an arena of some child game, some, like, video game, right? That's what spell is operating now. I'm, like, currently being murdered, except I'm not gonna die. He's dead. He's an idiot. He's gonna die. That guy's dead. He's as good as dead. Like, it's only a matter of time before he just joins with eternity. He's just he's a zombie. He's a dead man walking, okay? Nonetheless, this dead man walking, while he's still walking, he's busy with these spells. And so, thanks to that witchcraft and all this other stuff that's happening, I've just had these perpetual headaches. So I would have been okay without meds or anything like that for, I don't know, like the next couple of days. Like, I wouldn't have needed anything, maybe even a week too. I wouldn't have needed to get a grandpa or whatever, but I had to go and buy cheap grandpa, like a box set 38 at the China Mart, where it's marked down significantly. I had to go and get that, and that's like a little bit of a drive further out. Couldn't use my car because I'm saving petrol, blah blah, so I used my mom's car, thankfully, because that amount of heat in a car that I can't switch the aircon on because I'm saving the aircon off because I'm saving petrol would have been too extreme. And it's kind of hot right now, right, in South Africa. So when I was driving to the China to go and get what I needed, like I said, it's a little bit farther out than the Dis-Chem, which is just around the corner. There was, like, on the way there, bumper to bumper traffic. And on the way back, there was bumper to bumper traffic on the way there. 1 minute. There was bumper to bumper traffic on the way there and on the way. This computer, don't do that to me. I don't have energy or time. Not today, please. Like some other freaking day. Like any other day. And just any other day. Yeah, there was bumper to bumper traffic. Yeah. On the way there and on the way back. Right? Usually bumper to bumper traffic, you find it only in one direction given the time of day. If people are coming back from work or going, whatever. But there was bumper to bumper traffic in both directions. Something that I just could not take in my stride. I also drink a lot of water, and I drink a lot of water, and I hate using public bathrooms. So whenever I go out, I try to get everything done before I need to pee again. Yeah, well, peeing caught me in the middle of all of that driving, so I had to use a public bathroom today, and I can't stand them for the life of me. I hate them. 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 I can hold my urine in for an hour too, guys, just to not use a mall toilet. Like, I've got issues with public bathrooms. I just have a thing about hygiene. Anyway, but today I ended up using a bathroom in a public space because I was gonna die from, holding it in. Thanks to having been stranded in traffic for like a whole good hour going to a very nearby location. Yeah, so it was either I urinate on myself, have a medical issue where my bladder's bursting, or use a public bathroom. So that's what I did. I'm one of those people that will put like stashes of toilet paper on the toilet seat before I can even like squat on the toilet seat, because goodness gracious, public bathrooms, just the prospect of them, I don't know, like so many people use them, and hygiene is not uniform across the human race. Anyway, whatever, another story for another day. So that's that whole thing I'm ultimately gonna piece together some point. I'm out here going to the Chinatown, and there was this like bumper to bumper traffic. I don't usually break road laws, but today I was like, sorry, I can't. Why? Because I'm in pain. My body's inebriated. I hate being out in the wild because I don't like seeing people. I don't like people seeing me. I don't like the prospect of bumping into anyone that knows me. And when I look at people, they're living normal lives around my sorrow, and it just feels so insensitive. It just feels cold to be in this world, and I don't like therefore being around people anymore because I'm being ignored in my sorrow. Not only that, when you drive out, you see hobos, a lot of them on the side of the street begging for money, and I've been reduced to such a hobo. I've been reduced to such a poor person that I am in their socioeconomic class now, and I don't like seeing them because I realize that the only difference between them and me is the fact that I live with people that have made sure that I don't look so poor. But if I did not have my family, I'd be pretty much that, side of the street begging too. I don't think things would have ever gotten there with me. I would have probably committed suicide. I will admit that. So I would never have gotten to a point of begging, but that's just the thing. The Bible makes it clear that David was young, then he got old, yet never had he seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging for bread. But the fact that I've been reduced to somebody that could be a hobo if she didn't have her own family by black people, that's why you gotta be left. Like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not doing black people anymore. Like, I'm done. There's so many, like a good 80% of the hobos on the street are black. And I've been reduced to near on one by black people. And when I see them around driving in their cars, I'm like, you are responsible for black poverty. Black people. Black people, you are responsible for black poverty. You're responsible for 80% of you're responsible for why 80% of all homeless people in this country are black. Why it is that almost every beggar on the street is a black boy, a black girl, a black mom, a black child, a black dad, a black guy, a black You are responsible for that, because what the heck kind of phenomenal, irresponsible deed is this? Where I am almost a hobo. Ukarabo. How did that happen? How did I grow up in a middle class family as a responsible woman that doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't take drugs, and living among a family that is middle class and has jobs all over Johannesburg? How did I end up basically bordering on being a hobo myself when that is what I come from? Like, black people, whatever. Like, you know what? Hambanyofa. You can literally die. I don't care. Which is why I feel like the rapture needs to happen, because the way I feel about black people, there's no coming back from this. There's nothing that's gonna recover me from the way I feel about black people. Like, I feel trapped in my own skin. Is that basic? Like, you produce hobos. You literally have a hobo factory. You have a homeless person factory where you manufacture hobos out of perfectly thriving people. You literally manufacture hobos out of perfectly financially stable people. You create an economic crisis for your own community, and I feel trapped in my own damn skin. Is that basic? I feel trapped being black because the level of defeatism in the black community, the level of hobo manufacturers in the black community, thanks to all of their witchcraft and their sabotage, I cannot deal. Angbafuni. You will, like, over my dead body, the day minangzo chata indoda yomuntu mnyama, it'll never happen. I suspect literally every last one of them, and it's sad and uncomfortable because and so basically if I were to see a twin me, umuntu that's like me, a person that is essentially with my heart cry, I won't even be able to recognize them for what they are. I won't be able to spot them. I won't be able to know because we all look the same. So there's no knowing who among us. Alright, hey, 1 minute. There's no telling who among us is okay, is operational, functional. So angazi ukuthi who's me. I know ukuthi bakhona. I know that there are black people like me that are just fed up. I don't know. So meaning ukuthi there's no one I can trust. Sonke siyafana, and there's nothing beeping on our foreheads that says this one ungakhuluma naye. This one you can trust. This one you can run with. On their forehead when you are standing with them. O ka se qene o sabotageitswe o be o fellwe ke bokamoso ba ha o ka ofela ke ona ha ona like angazi ukuthi mbathole kanjani kwamele it would be a supernatural miracle. So basically right now ngisola wonke umuntu omnyama ngiyamsola. I was like in traffic as I was driving, every driver inside a car that was a black man or a black woman, a black person in Jefela, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if you've got a body count of 5 to 10 on your hands of just family members alone. Never mind friends. Every black person in the car that I saw, I was like, why when you now? Why do you have a job and I don't? What's your body count? Trafficking with a car as a black person instead of being this mama that's begging with her child on the side of the street. What's the difference between the two of y'all? Boy, when while this woman is begging on the street, that is making sure I thought just working hard will get you somewhere. I thought that was all you needed, and that's what I did. And I also thought that if you were set up for near on guaranteed prosperity insofar as you come from a certain family, how so ga o dula o sena a flushing toilet, you don't know what it's like to struggle like that. How o tlhapele mo di hara di kotlolo hape o tlhapa mo bateng metsi a mathang a tshesang nogal. That's what's good. That's where you come from. So njengoba mukhule endlini enje how do you end up bordering on hobo? How does that even happen? Like, how does that even happen? When your own family members set you up to end up in a different socio-economic class as them. When your own middle-class friends put you in a position to end up poor. I'm sorry. Ke ha ke ipotsa anaro wena o si anaro wena abuti jaka ha o dutse mo koloing o tsheswa ke letsatsi le go blasa mo ra traffic. Ho tlile jwang gore wena o gona o blasa ke letsatsi mo trafficking mo ra koloi o gutla mosebetsing, while I am driving somebody else's car because I can't afford to use my own because I ain't petrol after near on a decade of unemployment, and I'm basically bordering on being like this woman on the side of the street begging Yeah, only difference is that my family members have at least allowed me to stay with them. I'd be in the ground, I'd be 6 feet under if I'd been allowed to be entirely poverty stricken as in hobo. I would never have allowed that to happen. I never known to 5 ranta mo strateng. So but to either would have killed me or they would have what is this? The one of two things could have happened, Lana. If at all I don't die, because I did not die, I am living below the poverty line, however, with a veil of prosperity because I'm bonagal. Yeah. So really and truly, because I was just as exasperated as I was in traffic, looking at all of these people while there was this bumper to bumper traffic, I basically defied road laws today, and I was like, I'm not riding this out. I don't have energy. Why grandpa travel all the way to Chinatown box because I'm dealing with another black person o batlang ompolai. Ke dila le banna ba batho ba bantsho ba ntwetsa gore o tlo dula le nna o re ka o ka tlhokafala karabo o lo dula in poverty. Odula mo fleteng nang le maphela. You are going to settle, even though you literally your future was set by mere virtue of where you were born. You were guaranteed at a minimum basic comfort, just by mere virtue of where you were born. And then people took you and put you in a completely different socio-economic class altogether. ba go tlhophegisa, ba go sotla, ba go shebella, scraping through life, basically struggling to get from day to day. I am facing the status of ihobo. Kaze, abantu mina engene iskolo nabo, people that I went to high school with, would they ever have even imagined me? Ke kopa 2 rand on the side of the street. Ke sena drug addiction, ke sena alcohol habit. Like, I don't have things that tend to put people on the street, so you can see how Utemba was a high school that used to be a straight A student, ended up begging on the side of the street, ended up in whatever, because Unanzali busy with crack cocaine. Temba was busy with drugs. He let himself go. That's why manje asutle lesona ele seboto sesin tontonto skin tone sakaka is not even is not even recognizable anymore because uti trapile ka di dwelems. He went and disrespected his whole body. Namatrax. You can see why Utemba njalo, but Ukarabo agaphuzi, agabemi, agatata matrax. Heba tungmotoki oh healthy so much that murwaha wa khula on anything out of place. And then she comes from a middle class family, and yet she is facing a future of severe want. Like Papa, like I'm sorry, I can't. Like and it is so hard because I will you know the way that nake shabang batho ba ntsho ka teng hona le batho ba bang ba bantsho bang shebang the way nake ba shebang ka teng, because there are a whole bunch of us that feel trapped in the skin tone. Si feel trapped by the grain of rubbish that black people are into. Asikwazi ukuphuma ngoba sizelwe as black people. We were born as black people, and we have to look around, scanning the periphery, at how it is that we are subjugated to the tyranny of looking like all these creeps. We look like them. So asikwazi noko identify yana. We can't even find each other. Because the moment you see me, the moment people look at you, they just see another one, another typical green, another throw the black person under the bus, another completely disenfranchised, a thriving soul, a voting individual in a country in exorbitant poverty. Mess up with the unemployment stats of a country. I mean, if South Africa is like what a majority black country, so the unemployment rate accounts for largely black people, and then you look around at all of the sabotage in the black community, where a whole thriving academic, where a whole professional woman has been sitting around jobless for a decade, like an entire decade in Jeffel, while some mediocre crap is busy eating duty seats with a warm body in corporate South Africa. At the back of her mother's house gathering dust. Hey, that's what's going on, Lana, in the black community. So I ended up basically driving in the yellow lane on some I don't want to see them. I don't want to have to imagine what's going on there, I literally drove in the yellow lane, defying traffic. Thank God there was nobody there to stop me, because my driver's license is, yet again, because of black people, expired for years now, because nobody's trying to help me renew my driver's license. Like, I've got issues with so many things, and I'm not able to have those things catered to, because black people will keep you in a position to heaven. If God does not rapture the church, how in the world, with this kind of mindset against black people, am I, as a black person, supposed to survive another 40 years on earth? How am I supposed to get to the age of 80? How am I supposed to get to the age of, like, how am I supposed to have any life at all? Usually you find comfort in people that are like you. You know, if you go to a foreign country, especially as a black person, if you go to a European nation where there's a whole bunch of white people, you would likely feel comfortable when you see a black person on the street that you might talk to, because there's no racial discrimination there. Type establishment thing, you are highly unlikely going to endure that. We tend to be drawn to each other because of similarities of struggles and similarities of underestimation by the world around us. Manje, so it's like I'm alone in this world. As a black person, I was already born, you know, with a little bit of a disadvantage because of the way that the world views black people. So the best comfort zone for me and for any black person on earth, if at all you're going to be minimally comfortable, is black people. It's other black people. We find each other and we just settle in each other. So it's like I have no one. I'm just like in this, like I can never, ever fully be understood for where I come from by white people, by Indian people. No other racial group will ever understand my struggle the way that black people do. And so manje, since I don't trust them anymore, since mangbabona, all of them givona fella a potential criminal that can steal and jefela pull the rug from underneath the feet of any one of their neighbors, any one of their colleagues, any one of their classmates, any one of their friends. Oh, I'm busy hard knock ngai. sowing discord in marriages, destroying careers, destroying job opportunities, destroying acquisitions of dreams, degrees. Why? 24 hours a day. When it's that messy, guys, I've got nothing. I am living as a lone ranger on this earth, and it's like over. Pelil. There's nothing that can ever recover me out of this. PTSD. It's not going anywhere. Because bottom line is I was endured through this for an entire decade. And unfortunately, even though you can try and raise an issue as an issue, there will be some people where the information is not going to get to them. The message is just not going to spread to their portion of the earth. And so their defeatism will continue. And this is going to be a grain that's just going to carry on and on and on and on and on. Lanka convince 5 or 10 or 7 people on YouTube to stop rubbish as black people. There's still 10 of millions. There's still like literally perhaps like billions of other people that are just gonna stay the freaking same. They're not gonna change. And how defeatist they are, and actually change the way that they do things. That's not changing. The defeatism in the black community is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I can change 5 people's minds, 10, maybe even 10,000, but there will still be another 500,000 still doing the same crap. Nothing's gonna change. Like good pelile. It's that basic. It's over. They are still going to keep on xenophobically beating down and burning other black people across the continent because they think Bona being South Africans, they're better. Black people are still going to pull rugs from underneath their feet. They're still going to sow discord in marriages. They're still going to bewitch each other. I will convince 5 to stop, but the other 10,000 won't. So I'm stranded. Everywhere thing in the future. To that for 5 seconds bang smilela. After that also check it sangomanyana yako Pimville. After 10 months moto sali busy asasa kastile. Goodness gracious, guys, if you're 39 I'm 39 whole years old. I will still have some women coming up against my prospects for marriage. I will still have somebody separating me with ever coming together with my husband. There will still be someone Nina 50. There will be someone Kirali 60 still hoping on God for a husband that is still going to come at me Nina 60. That's what you must understand. There is no escaping it just by mere virtue of being manje. Just by mere virtue of being black. Ngizothakathwa office where I work. Ngizothakathwa emsebenzi what is this eskolweni where I attend. I'm a family members azoba busy nam. Just by mere virtue of being black. You could be married to a white man, and yet just because you are a member of a black family and black people are looking at you as a black person in the office where you work, at school where you go, in the recreational spaces that you frequent, just because you are black. So so it feels like there's nowhere to go, and I can't run. I feel trapped. It's a zombie apocalypse. Grunting blacks all over the show, Justin Jeffella spinning on the spot, but that's making it possible for you to keep on driving your moto yako in the sun, in bumper to bumper traffic during the week coming back from work, while Karabo can't do it. What's the difference, dog? Because I was given the same opportunities as you, and I went and I grabbed them just like you, yet you stayed employed. Right, that kept you employed. Tagata, that's the thing. La lawyer, la tumpana, like no man's business. You don't know whether you're coming or going. Yes, like it won't go. Yes, staff. This is exactly what's going on. Oppression against blacks never stopped. Unfortunately, however, those who oppressed blacks became blacks. It stopped being the white supremacist. It started being other blacks. And manje, seeing as that's your grain. I know. I can say keep it. I can literally say keep what you're doing. I can speak as much as I want against what you're doing and say I'm done. Kodwa nizongilandele mvalang yakhona noma ngachatindia nizongilanda da. Anganyela le long lata da. Kalolata mo China ko Asia long lata da. Litong latela morago mo kyang teng just because you feeling gathi go wenu mina. Litong pinela sizo funa umuntu wethu namhlanje. Yeah, so you can put her in a little freezer. Alo khatsela ngwana bantu. Literally an icicle and defela edula ntse iblomisitse istakile shapile statue. Mo hara position esa mo tshwaneleng because batho ba bantu ha ba tlo mtlogela ragole. Abafuna kumyekela. You are possessive of each other. You don't want black people people to survive, to thrive, to go out there in the wilderness, such that Noma bahamba into other communities la balada nkare kikidi pere, and like you've got the, you know, that thing that you throw in the sky only to catch an animal ka molala or back to you. You do that to your people la batripa. You bring them back to you bring them back. Suicide was never prevalent in the black community. And so because we knew how to suffer, we knew how to not kill ourselves when we're suffering. But then you make black people suffer so terribly, and you gave them such a cognitive dissonance of shock and putting them in positions they never imagined they would end up in, like literally creating a hobo out of a woman that was born in a middle class family, that even though they would never ever have committed suicide or considered it, now it is that they're dropping like flies from suicide. Suicide is increasing in the black community because of the way you steal people's dreams. You steal people's dreams. You steal people's entire destinies. If you don't have a purpose in life, if you can't, if you cannot fulfill your purpose, if you can't build a legacy, if you can't basically from the moment you come out of your mother's womb, find something to do on the earth until you die. Must people just keep on breathing, just merely existing without any purpose? Because you literally steal people's purposes. Whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing, I need phone and and I decided to I want to go and evangelize people. I start a YouTube channel, and you are blocking that. You are preventing me from doing that. Manje, if I can't do the gospel, just draw bad breath every day. That's all I must do. But until I die, the prospect of crocodile tears on the day when I pass away to spare you from dying. Just breathe, nje. Like literally on life support, like somebody that is a vegetable in hospital, hooked up on machines. Agapili, she is just merely existing. She's just merely existing. You literally make people merely freaking exist, black folk. And when they want to go somewhere so they can live and not merely exist, you pull them back in so that you can just observe them merely existing. And when then they commit suicide, why is there such a hike in the black community of mass suicides? That's why a rapture needs to happen. The rapture needs to happen because who in the world freaking recovers from this? Who recovers from this? Even when you try to heal, you can't, because they will always bring you back into the grain of the fallenness that you're all in. No sacrifice. I mean, the fact that nyakwazi nje fela galula ukuyonigeza igazi lama family members just to get success. I don't know how you can get that right. Easily to just, like my cousin, the first spell that she was demanded from the occult to gain success was sacrifice a member of your family. Ketamine. What decided that she's gonna grab her best friend in the family and human sacrifice her. By the amazing grace of God, so yeah. Mara, that's black people for you. You easily just like proper umuntu okhule nayo modlala party no dlala Chicago lena nelidlala black man party le kaofela kom banana, and then next thing you want to get a job promotion, you want to become something important, and you easily just give this person's name to the occult organization that you have joined. Hore ba mo bolaya in a ritual. La fisa na fela ka bo auntie, la fisa na fela ka bo ntate, la fisa na fela ka bana, la fisa na ka dimpa tsa lona tsa pregnancy, la fisa na fela ka bana ba lona, la fisa na ka di best friends, la fisa na ka di sisters, la fisa na ka bo abuti ba lona. You just give them nje kalula, and after they pass away, apparently it's a necessary evil when you're busy scratching your head. Ngabantu abamnyama lapho. Like the amount of human sacrifice in the black community is out of this world. It is astronomical. And if you think even about the entertainment industry, Hollywood, largely the celebrities whose family members plonk to the ground and they die. So it's the blacks. About that baby, but Jennifer Hudson, it's the black ones, the white people, the white celebrities, the white musicians. Barely ever when they start their careers in music would you then hear 2 months later that their whole family burned in a fire. 3 months later would you find out that some cousin died, a dad died, a mom. It's all the black people that lose a family member or somebody when they gain fame. It's just us that are expected to sacrifice family members because they see that it's so easy for us to let them go. It's that easy for black people to let them go. We just let our loved ones go. We just let them go. Yo, guys, as in, I can't. I literally can't. And like I said, entertainment industry, Hollywood, this is America. That was an American example. So, Jaka Ileko the West, if it's in America, then it turns out it's not just an African issue. You easily just give each other's blood to be drunk by the earth. You convert Abels out of your own friends and family members, and then you hope Putin's over, right? Filling corporate South Africa. Your knives are dripping blood. You've got like the smoking gun is in your hand. Mara, no, we're not senior manager. I can't. Black people know you grand. So I drive to the Chinatown, go rekanto that I need to get. And another thing in Fraza, it was the recognition of why even I was in that bumper to bumper traffic in both directions. It was because there was load shedding. And with load shedding, 4 sets of robots headed to this nearby destination were dead. So it was chock-a-block to and from. And I thought yet again, oh yeah, no, the black government then did that. Like making sure that South Africans are perpetually just stuck in traffic. Whether or not it's 2 p.m. in the afternoon, whether or not it's 5 a.m. in the morning, whether or not, it doesn't matter what time it is, Blight South Africans are going to be stuck in traffic every single day of their lives. They have to just take it in their stride. That they're going to have to add in an hour and a half before they get home. Because load shedding is going nowhere. Who did that? The black government. But you see, how can I be grand ngani as a black person? How? I'm so right. Nobody will ever embrace me fully as a black person anywhere else other than black people. So I'm essentially a lone ranger lost in Jeffela. I'm a vagrant on the earth. I'm an alien now. I've been made an alien as motomunsu in a world that persecutes black people just because they're black. So me being fed up with you is not going to give me reprieve, even if I go somewhere else, because I will never be fully embraced anywhere else. What needs to happen is for us to leave the earth. Like, the rapture is so important to me right now. It literally is the only cure to this thing. We need to go to heaven, recalibrate scales. Things need to happen. The Lord has to be the one to set the record straight, to rebalance this stuff out, to give black people reprieve that are tired of the grain of black people, the sins of black people that have put black people in this bad position in these last days. Only Jesus can make sure that finally, once and for all, there is neither Jew nor Greek, no black, white, pink, colored, purple. Finally, Jesus is the only one that can cure my PTSD first and foremost, and make sure that I don't have to go through life just looking at one and being like, it's possible that you might be sober like me, but it's also highly likely that you are crazy like all of them, like all of them. And so if there's no more making friends, is there? There's no more meeting people and breaking bread. There's no more sitting in a room toasting, cheersing, and trusting everyone in there. Like, everything that is of value, say tshontshiwe manje. Itati umuntu uyashona. She is having to swallow ama-grandpa engakhingelanga. I don't know. Ngoba mina busy ngidila nge-headache that is not even going away because it is induced by amadimoni of some people trying to kill me ngenkani ngoba ngiyabakhipha for le nyongo ebayenzayo. So if you don't want me ukuthi survivor because ugcwele ngenyongo, then I guess, like, I don't know, let's go home, yo. Like, papa guys. I just want to go home to heaven. It's thundering outside. It's evidencing that it might rain, so I might not work out. I don't know. And without exercise, I can survive this barrage of insults, this attack, because it really does help me to conquer. Kodwa, yo, abantu amnyama, you have made South Africa live in 24-hour bumper-to-bumper traffic. Let's just put that out there. Your black government has put South Africans in bumper-to-bumper traffic all day and all night, weekend or weekday, peak hour or not. That's what the government has done. Just chock-a-blocking everybody in traffic. I was so pressed to pee. I went to the Chinatown and I was already starting to feel an inkling of needing the bathroom when I was at the Chinatown. So I quickly did what I needed to do to get out of there so I could go to the Dis-Chem, grab what I needed to grab and go home and then pee go bathroom. But I was stranded for 45 minutes. Distance ya thing, really, guys. Hillfox. You know Hillfox, if you live in Rediport, Johannesburg, the distance that I'm talking about is Hillfox. That McDonald's Eliako Hillfox. Yeah. And then the retail crossing. Yeah, that's the distance. The distance between Hillfox and Retail Crossing on Hendrik Potgieter. Yeah, that's the distance. Without traffic and with robots working, that's a 6-minute drive. 6-minute drive. 6-minute drive if all the robots are red. And a 3-minute drive if all the robots are green. And anything between 3 to 6 minutes if some are red and some are green. That is that drive, more or less. That's how near it is. Yeah. But I was stranded in that monster for 45 minutes to an hour. In both directions. The one direction, however, I cheated somewhere along the way on some, I'm not going to write this out. Driver ko yellow laning, and that's not what I usually do. But I mean, how many law-breaking drivers are you creating in South Africa when you don't fix the electrical infrastructure then? How many of them are you creating? People that would have rode out bumper to bumper traffic because, you know, today's a bad day, so that's why the robots are not working, but generally everything works fine. Versus this is a daily thing. You are literally creating chaos on the roads too. You're creating whole bunch of jaywalking, you're creating by pedestrians, and you're also creating a whole bunch of reckless driving by motorists that just cannot take in their stride, building in fat of 45 minutes to an hour, on top of an existing hour 45 minutes just to get to work every single day when you have to wake up an hour 45 minutes earlier than before. Wow, goodness gracious, like somebody that wakes up at 5 a.m. at like what, 3:45 for real, just to make it Ndefela to work by 8. What the heck sort of life is that? That's what South Africa has done with this power cut crisis. That's what it's done with this power cut crisis. It has made traffic a nightmare, and I have not been in traffic for very many years because of my situation, my life. But the one time when I go in there, I'm like, yo, I don't miss this about working. But it certainly gets a lot worse when it's exacerbated by an irresponsible government, and that government is black. Let's just put that out there. So how this country is sustainable, I don't know. Like, even as I speak to you guys right now, the last grandpa I took was about an hour and a half ago, and the headache is coming back because this headache is not one that can get taken away by analgesics. It's not a regular headache, it's spiritual, and it's going to go away through praying it off and basically conquering whatever under heaven this is, this death spell, this korobela, whatever it is that is this fatigue her, exhaust her, drain her, finish her off. Yeah, I will conquer because it's what I do. I'm a Christian, and so I will stop getting the headaches maybe tomorrow, day after, angazi. But the grandpas definitely make them a lot less hectic. I get woken up from bed kamatha. Alright, that's what you must understand. I get woken up kamatha because the headache is pounding that violently. I took a grandpa before I went to bed last night, and I woke up with that kind of a violent headache. It's not grandpa sitting. I had to go and ask my mom for grandpa. And grief over grandpa because it's expensive. Grandpa's just skyrocketing. That's what's good. So she's like, hey man, Garabo, I give you 500 rand. Whilst I take a look, grandpa, 500 rands is nothing. But nonetheless, whatever. She's not wrong because now she has to go and buy that same grandpa and Mina. I'm always just swallowing these days. Why? Because I am trying to have to basically conquer a headache that is not going anywhere, but it gets a little less intense when I have taken some kind of an analgesic. And I had to drive all the way to Chinatown to purchase the cheapest grandpa I have sourced out in all of Johannesburg, precisely because I'm poor, I'm broke, and in all of my sorrow and all of my suffering, I am also being sickened by people in the occult that have made it such that now I got a budget for grandpa, because even though I don't want to keep on taking pills, I cannot get through the night. I cannot get through even the day. I cannot work a full session of exercise without the grandpa, because the headache is the kind that will lay you on a bed. Meningitis. It'll lay you on a bed. It's demonic, and the grandpa goes a long way. And it's so bad that I can't take just one grandpa. I have to take 2 at a time, because A1 hides the next. That's what the demonic attack does to me. So I already am on a strong hard knock budget. To make sure that I keep on taking my drinks and growing my hair and whatnot. Having to prioritize, choose what to take and what not to take. And with somebody dealing with a budget, what do you call this? The 38. Yeah, grandpa. 38 grandpa. Just to as a contingency for the coming month, should I get attacked by this kind of barrage of witchcraft over and over again by black people. And so if at all I get attacked that way, I need to always have grandpa by my side, because my mother's gonna give me grief and say grandpa, especially if you half 38 box. Why? Grandpa. So I had to go and source it out. That's why I traveled all the way that far. On a Thursday, I would have gone on Sunday where I don't have to do this work and exercise. Yeah, that's why I had to travel all the way there which is not even all that far really, in no traffic, just to source a cheap version of Grandpa. Everything else could have waited. My vitamin C was running out, true story. I was ultimately going to go and get it, but not now, on the weekend, because that's when I'm not doing exercise and it's a lot more chill a day. Saturday and Sunday are a lot more chill days, you know. I relax. During the week I do this work. I need this work in order to survive, but I had to go kajeko kilo reka Grandpa because of the fact that like black people and their witchcraft have given me a splitting headache that I have to take 2 Grandpas every couple of hours just to deal with, and I could not continue to stash some my mom, so I had to go. And then I was caught in the midweek traffic that was exacerbated by the fact that there's always power cuts and robots were dead because of black South Africa. Like, I can't. You see, this resentment of black people that I have right now, how do you live with it as a black person on earth without being called an Uncle Tom by people who are ignorant, who have no understanding as to where you're coming from, and who have also not bled as you have bled? How am I supposed to live like this? Like, literally, guys, it's over. I am a nutbag now. I am a curious case for psychologists and psychiatrists now, where it is that as a black person, I can't stand my own people. Like, I am thoroughly a case study for mental experts, for psychology students who are coming up with hypotheses and studies. They can literally read my case and study me carefully, poke and prod away at me like a guinea pig, because this is what happens. A curious case of a person that has been so badly abused by an ecosystem she can't afford to leave. She has been so badly abused by it that she no longer fits in anywhere on earth. She is literally lonely on a planet full of billions of people. She has no one she can belong to. She has no one she belongs to. I am a curious case for shrinks. I really am. I'm not getting out of this. Like, this is a cognitive dissonance and a mental issue that is not going anywhere. And the thing that is going to make certain it is going absolutely nowhere is the fact that there are not enough people I can reach on YouTube that will fix the issue in the black community, because all I will be doing is healing 5 people out of 5 million. It's gonna do nothing. It's gonna do nothing. I'm shadow banned on YouTube, but even if I was not, I would still be reaching thousands of people out of millions. It would make no difference. It wouldn't make a dent. And if I was not shadow banned, it would especially get me even more attacked because of people out of envy coming and pouncing on each other. Bantu bamnyama, during apartheid you knew something was wrong because all of y'all were in pain. But with witchcraft, some of y'all are happy while others are in pain. And Bonagali, it's anonymous, and that's why this thing is not going anywhere. Ujeso is the only one akalukisang situation in. There's no turning back from this. How in the world am I facing the level of poverty that would render a person a hobo if they did not have a home to stay in? When I was born in a middle income family that's never ever struggled with food insecurity, that's never ever struggled with shelter insecurity, how in the world do I gaze upon the workforce of South Africa with covetousness because I haven't been employed for a decade? There are people that can never know what it's like to have an office job because of the fact that they were born in the grain. They were born kumkuku. They were born to sell my kipkipi. They were born njefela to stay cement layers, brick layers, construction workers, maids, domestic workers, gardeners. And they're not going to get anything other than that. All they know is that. And so when they look at everybody in their cars, it's a curious case for covetousness. Wonder what it's like to have a desk job, to have a laptop, to be computer literate. Wonder what it's like to have an access card that you clock into an office building where it is that you go in and you work. I wonder, because I will never know. I will never know. There are people that are unfortunately just born in that grain. I was never one of them. And yet now today, I am sitting from a vantage point of those people. And I'm looking at everybody else and I'm like, what in the world under heaven, what the heck is so different with you? That you have got that access card, and you have got a full tank of gas, and you are getting burned by the sun in bumper to bumper traffic coming back from a job that I can never ever get. What the heck is so different between you and I? When two middle class people are staring neck and neck in each other's faces, and one of them drops to my level of poverty, you need to look around in that community as to what the heck did that. None of us from my crew of friends in high school should have ended up in this level of poverty. None of my friends should have ever fathomed the day ever arriving where one of us would be begging for money. Where one of us would literally survive on 500 rands a month. And yet here am I. What did that? Bantu Amnyama, I'm sorry, you've made me a sore sight, Wankudwa, a curious case, a sore sight, a painful occurrence that is nonetheless going to remain an unsung hero. I am never going to get basically my point across, because the sorrow and the pain that you have endured black people through, that are suffering the way that I am suffering, will always remain in corridors buried hidden, scrummaging around like rodents in pipes. Yeah. Because that's what you've reduced them to. Where it is that they're basically groveling, groaning, moaning, grunting, complaining underground. However, unheard. And they will die, still buried by black people that insist that nobody but me is going to be okay. Yeah. They will always remain unsung heroes. And in being unsung heroes, there will never be justice for us. That's why Jesus has got to take the church. That's why we have to get raptured. Because if we don't get raptured, more middle class black folk are going to end up begging for bread on the side of the street. It's literally going to happen like clockwork. People that you never ever fathomed would ever be sleeping on a park bench are going to be sleeping on park benches. People that were supposed to run entire organizations are going to be hanging on nooses, having committed suicide because they can't believe how much they've lost in their lives. You are going to put people on the ground. Others you're going to put them in homeless shelters. Others you're going to put them on park benches sleeping on there. Others you are going to put them in forced arranged marriages, because that's the only way as a woman that they imagine they could ever get some kind of a semblance of a normal life. That she thinks stinks, but that she will accommodate just so she can have a warm house, food in her stomach, and clothing for her children. That's what under heaven is going to end up the black community. If the Lord does not rapture the church, there are going to be people who are supposed to be running the country, running organizations in the country, people that are supposed to be shifting paradigms, changing tomorrow, innovating. They're going to be hanging on nooses, sleeping on park benches, living in homeless shelters, and married to men they can't stand. That's what you have done in the black community. There is nowhere I can run where you're not going to try and pull me with a noose back into this grain so I can die. Literally, there's nothing I can do. I'll speak to 5 people. 5. But I will only ever reach just 5. Because out of those 5 people, there are 5 million more that are still gonna stay in that thing that it is that you all do as black people. You're just gonna keep doing whatever the heck you do. Little pride in being the only ones driving in traffic back from work in your whole family, or the only one otlokang into a 9-to-5 job. You will continue to pride yourself in crap like that. Do you black people? I gotta go and check if at all I'm gonna be working out, because this thunder is making me uneasy. I was supposed to speak only for 20 minutes because and I don't have anything to say. Your love spells, your death spells, your man. There's nothing left. There's nothing. Guys. There's nothing. Keo lightning, king thunder, Who fedile? Yo, it's over. And Bonnie, don't you see? How many of you from how many of you that are from the age of 35 and up in the black community still have everyone that you had when you were growing up? How many of you still have all of your friends from high school? How many of you are still in contact with them? How many of you still have all of your family members with sound relations between all of y'all? How many of y'all have still got colleagues that you knew in your first job around in your lives? Everybody. You still break bread. You are in camaraderie. How many of y'all can bump into anyone from the past? Anyone at all from the past and not be awkward at the mall? Awkward at the jazz festival? Awkward in the new job office where you're working? How many from the age of 35 upwards? How many of y'all have got everyone that you've ever known still in your life, or with sound relations, sound, what do you call this thing? What do I want to say? Sound cordialities with them. You're still kind of cordial. Like I said, dead air, elephant in the room. How many of you from the age of 35 up can safely say that of your whole upbringings worth of human beings? I'm pretty sure it's something like an abysmal stat along the lines of 5 to 10% of you. Because black people trip each other up, they sabotage one another, until it becomes awkward to freaking bump into anyone at the mall, until it becomes uneasy to work for a new company and find that the person that in your first job, and then you find them in that new job and you're like, oh, I guess you were okay anyway. Unjani Daina. How many of you black people have all of your friends from long ago because you keep stabbing each other in the back? You keep massacring one another's prosperities. You keep on throwing one another underneath the bus, such that by the time you get to a certain age, 35, something like 15% of all the people, 15 to 20, maybe 30% of all the people that are supposed to be in your life are still in your life. Only 30%. Only 30%. The other 70%, you've got beef. You've got beef. They've written you off. Abasak funi. Nyazibana. You are awkward at the mall. Like, goodness gracious. My ex-boyfriend, I don't even understand why under heaven we have this kind of enmity with each other. Because we had closure in a way that was so cordial after we broke up, that I was supposed to be the kind of ex-girlfriend that if at all I saw him at the mall pushing a baby, and then move on some congratulations with you and your wife. That's how it would have been with my ex and I. Mara no. Making sure so discord in my family. I've got beef with people I used to love, I used to hang with. There's a guy in the entertainment industry that used to be a friend of my ex-boyfriend's that I cannot stand looking at the work of, the adverts that he is doing, because he was one of the people that put witchcraft on me and on my ex. Another one. So I keep on the adverts. I roll my eyes on some. If only people knew what you are. You're a menace. You're a menace. I could never bump into that guy and be like, hey, now your acting is still going well, boy. Congratulations. Now I just look at him and all I can think about is you go and you get your wife. You go and you get your babies. We are when I to build your future. You continue to deceive Wonkomuntu in South Africa since you're in the entertainment industry into believing that you're a good man, a stellar citizen, a good dad and a good husband, when you went and bewitched a girlfriend, yeah, one of your boys, because you were low-key freaking crushing on her, and on top of that you could not stand to let your boy be happy with his woman. So I'm a lawyer, I'm not know when I was at my said, wow. You went where you're your business, if family perspective. Yeah, one of your boys. You went and messed up with one of your boys. So every time I see these little Christmas adverts, I'm like, I know what you did, man. My ex-boyfriend and I, you had everything you needed. Goodness gracious, every guy wanted your girl, and yet you decided to go in you're shy in relationship your muntu wale good like proper. When then your boy and his girl broke up, what's about what you did? How could wena wala tsama lo reka ringo stands wala proposal lenyalo ko girlfriend nya ha o keta go lo break up your boy with his girl, and now you're hanging out taking a photo on Twitter with the same guy Ali One with your girlfriend, making out of him a little third wheeler. He's lost his girl because of you, but nah, you're engaged. That's what's going on in the black community. Tinyoko, yeah, black community ew. Like left and right, you scan the periphery, nothing good. No one is letting anyone be okay. Except myself. May the Lord come and take the body of Christ so I don't have to deal with living another 40 years with this cognitive dissonance, with this dilemma, with this like split thing, this ambiguity, this I get about what's alang mara ha ke sa tlo ba right ke ntho ke batlang go e tlhalosetsa lona eo ha ke sa tlo ba right. I don't fit in anywhere. I literally I don't even know guy for me to escape the grain ya batho ba bantsho ga ke tsebo re ke nka iketsang. It's not like I can even pass for a colored in South Africa. I can mosweu, I can maveta, I can yellow bone. I like proper. There's nothing I can pass for where I will finally be embraced. I am black in the blackest worst way, with nappy hair and everything. I'm stuck, it appears. May the Lord just rapture the church. Ke feditse ka lona, except kanjani. Yes, like it. Bye.